Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Today is day 4 of packet number 6. So that's what we'll be looking at today. So let's go ahead and get started. If you look in your packet where it says day 4, the first thing that we have to do is a phonological awareness activity. It says, say the sounds below, one set at a time, then ask the student to blend the sounds together to say the word. So we did this a lot in class when we were at school. So the adult that's doing this with you is going to say a word in its sounds. They're going to say it spread apart. And your job is to blend those sounds together and just say the word. So the first word is I. Your job is to blend those together to say the word. Remember those long and short vowels. If you hear I, what type of vowel is that, long or short? Remember that. So there are 5 words there, including that first one that I just did. And your job is just to say the word with those sounds blended together. You're not writing any of this down, just say it. The next thing that we're doing is a reading activity. It says, using the consonant, vowel, consonant, silent E word list number 3, practice reading words with the consonant, vowel, consonant, silent E pattern. So I'm going to take you to that. We've looked at this the past few days, but still good just to look. So we're on list number 3 now. So we are right here. So it just said that your directions were to read these words to show what you know about the consonant, vowel, consonant, silent E pattern. What are those vowels making, a long or a short sound? So that's your job. Read those words. Then it says, read the decodable text, The Lost Bone, from the VCE decodable text document. So we're going to look at that now, The Lost Bone. I'm going to read it to you, and then I expect you to read it to yourself. So it looks like this in your packet. It's right here on the left side of the page. The Lost Bone. Jake is a white pup. Jake will dig a hole and drop a bone in it. A stone was set in the hole with the bone. Jake will run with a twig. The pup will chase a snake. Then Jake will rest. Next, Jake pokes the hole. The bone. Jake did miss the bone. Was it at home? Was it in the dome? Was it on the grass? It was in the hole. Jake will hit the stone and dig in the hole. The bone was in the hole. Jake ate the whole bone up. The white pup was glad. Jake can rest. So that little story has a lot of long O's. The focus of that was a lot of long O words. So see if you can find some of them after you've read it. So now you read it on your own. The Lost Bone. Then it says, explain to someone how the vowel, consonant, silent E pattern in words works. So you're going to finish this sentence just like you have been the past couple of days. When I see the vowel, consonant, silent E pattern, when I see the vowel, consonant, silent E pattern, what do you know? What does that pattern tell you? When you see this, vowel, consonant, silent E. What does this silent E make the vowel do? Say its name. Makes it a long O, not a short O. So explain that when you finish your sentence starter. Then, after you've done that, we have a writing activity. It says, choose 5 words from word list 3. Discuss the meaning of the words and write a sentence for each word. So this is like what we did for word study some days. You would have to write sentences using your word study words. Well, today, you are using words from list 3, the ones that you read earlier. You are picking, I think it said 5 words. Yes, choose 5 words from list 3. Discuss the meaning of the words and write a sentence for each word. So that means you're going to pick 5 of those words and write a sentence with that word, with each word in it. So if you chose hive, one of your sentences could be, I saw a beehive near the school. So I saw a beehive near the school is my sentence. I want to show which word is from word list 3 by underlining it. So that's an example of how you should be doing your sentences. Now you would write 4 more sentences with one of the words from word list 3 in each sentence, a different one of the words in each sentence. That is it for writing. So make sure you have a sentence for each of the words that you pick from word list 3. And each word should be in one of those sentences. The next thing that we have to do today is a math activity. We're focusing on measuring today. Remember when we talked about non-standard units of measurement? That's when we said we have to have, you can't measure things with some brand new crayons and some broken crayons, right? They have to be the exact same. We also said you can't overlap or stack things when we're measuring with non-standard units. You need to measure from end to end. So for measuring, it says, I found some pennies. I want to measure my cell phone with the pennies. My cell phone is 8 pennies long. So if you were measuring a cell phone, you are measuring from one end to the other. And the person in the example said that their phone was 8 pennies long when they matched the pennies up from end to end. So it says, find pennies, beans, buttons, or any small items in your home to use as measurement units. So see if you can find some pennies. Remember, you can't use some pennies, some nickels, some dimes, because those coins are all different sizes. You either need to find a handful of pennies, or a handful of nickels, or a handful of dimes, or a handful of, what else does it use? Beans that are all the same, a handful of buttons, but make sure they are all the exact same. You're going to use whatever you choose of those things as your measurement units for today. It says measure the following objects with the measurement item you found. Record your findings. Choose your own objects you want to measure and add to the chart. Explain to someone what you discovered about the lengths. So if we're looking here, this is the chart they are talking about. So the example that they already used was a cell phone. It says item measured. So that was the cell phone. Number of measurement units, it was 8 pennies long. Then they just had an idea of measuring a book and a cup. You can fill these 3 boxes with whatever you are choosing to measure in your home. You don't have to do a book and a cup. Those are just ideas they came up with. So 1, 2, 3 things in your home that you are going to measure and write them in those boxes. Then you're going to write, after you measure them, how many of the thing that you're measuring with long it was. So if you're using pennies, tell me how many pennies long the book or whatever you're measuring was. If you're using buttons, tell me how many buttons long the cup was, or whatever you decide to measure. Remember what I said. If you're using pennies, if this is one of my pennies and this is one of my pennies, and you cannot overlap them when you're measuring end to end. And the item, you are measuring from end to end. You're not starting in the middle. You're measuring from the tippy top all the way to the bottom. After you've filled in that chart for what you have done, oh, and look down here. There's actually a bigger version of this chart down on the next, up after the breakdown of days of the packet. There's one right here, day 4, next to the money anchor chart, where you can fill in more. So you have 4 that you can fill in. So make sure you use that one, or you can create your own on a blank piece of paper. Just copy the chart and make it yourself. So after you've done that for math, today we're moving on to content. It says people make choices. Oh, that was yesterday. To save money, people give up spending it now so they can buy goods and services in the future. So if you're choosing to save your money, that means that you are choosing to not spend it now, but to save it up so you can buy goods or services in the future. Read Bonk's new bike. So let's find that. Right here. And I'm going to read it to you, then you practice reading it to yourself as always. Bonk's new bike. Bonk has dreams about the bike he wants. It is red with cool handlebars and spokes. Bonk sees the bike on TV. He sees it in the newspaper too. He opens his monster bank. He has only 5 pennies. I have to earn enough money for my new bike, says Bonk. I will start a dog walking business, he says. He goes door to door asking people if he can walk their dogs. Can we help walk dogs too? Asks Jupe. I'll do it by myself, Bonk says. I'm saving my money for a new bike. Soon Bonk's phone begins to ring. People knock on his door. They all want Bonk to walk their dogs. This will be a fun and easy way to earn money, Bonk says. On Saturday, Bonk picks up each dog. There are big dogs, little dogs, fancy dogs, and plain dogs. The dogs are barking, jumping, and running around. Bonk gets all their leashes together and begins to walk. One dog tangles up his leash. Another dog rolls in the mud. Another dog chases a cat. This is not fun, Bonk says. It is not easy either. Lurk, Oozle, and Jupe ride their scooters past Bonk. Do you want some help now, Bonk? Jupe asks. Bonk gives each of the monsters a dog to walk. When they are finished walking, the dog owners pay the monsters. I'm sorry I said you couldn't help with the dog walking, says Bonk. I couldn't have done it without you. Jupe, Lurk, and Oozle talk. They give their money to Bonk. This is for your new bike, says Jupe. But you earned this money too, says Bonk. We want something other than money, says Lurk. Anything you want, Bonk says. When you get your new bike, we want to take turns riding it, says Jupe. It's a deal, says Bonk. So after you've finished reading that story, I want you to answer these questions at the bottom. Bonk has good friends. Is this statement a fact or opinion? How do you know? Remember, a fact is something that is true, and opinion is something that you think. And for opinions, you might think one thing and someone else could have a different opinion. A fact is something that is true no matter what, and you can find the evidence or proof of that fact. Opinions can be different from person to person. I might like peanut butter and you might hate peanut butter. That's our opinion. A fact is that peanut butter is made from peanuts. It's true. Everyone thinks the same about that. Peanut butter is made from peanuts. But the opinion is what can be different from person to person. I love peanut butter, but Mr. Overton might hate it. That's the difference in our opinion. So, what happened after the monsters finished walking the dogs? That's the next question you have to answer. Then it says, Bonk thought that walking dogs would be easy and fun. Did the job turn out like he thought it would? Why or why not? And the last question is, Bonk decided to walk dogs to make extra money. What other types of jobs could he do to earn money for his new bike? So after you've answered those questions at the end of the story, we're going to go back up to content for today. It says, draw a chart like the one below on a piece of paper. Explain your thinking to someone in your home. Write your ideas down. So after we've read that story and you've answered the questions at the end of the story, you are going to copy this chart here on a blank piece of paper. Picture of what Bonk wanted. So what did he want? Why was he trying to earn money? So he could draw a picture of it here. It says benefit of saving his money. That means, what are the good things about saving his money? You'll write those in that column. Then over here it says cost of saving his money. Cost of saving his money is like the things that are that might be difficult or challenges about saving his money. So one of the costs of saving his money might be he can't buy things that he wants right now because he's saving up for the bike later on. So he has to give up buying things right now to save up for that bike in the future. So you're drawing a picture of what he wants, you're writing down the good things that come from saving money and the hard things that come from saving money. You're copying this chart on a blank piece of paper and you're filling in each part. After you've done that, that is our packet work for today. So like I said, that was day 4 of packet number 6. Tomorrow we will be on day 5. And then just one more week to go. We won't be having a Zoom today because me and Mr. Overton are going to be at school, kind of gathering all of your things together that were left at school and cleaning out the classroom. So we'll be busy doing that. So no Zoom today. We will pick back up with Zooms next week for our last week. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to email me. I'll try and get back with you at some point today after I get back from school, because while we'll be there, we'll be pretty busy. But after I get back, I'll try and answer any questions that you have. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I miss you and I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye, boys and girls.